The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
And it's Monday, so you know how we do to get you going. Here we go.
Just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is to stay away, mother. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says bullshit. I think you better quit, let it slip, or you'll be leaving with a fat lip.
It kind of makes you feel a little bit better here. 6:03. It's almost 70 right now. Really nice outside. It's great. After Mother's Day weekend, check in 312-591-8300. So much for you today. Main focus about 2 hours away at 8 o'clock. We got Billie Eilish tickets for you. 8 a.m. Be here right at 8 a.m. sharp for Billie Eilish tickets.
Let go. I am so hyped about that.
It's wild when you go back to Q101's YouTube channel, which Case kind of monitors there for all of us there. And Billie Eilish did a lounge there. I want to say it was 6 years ago.
I think it was 2018, so that would be 6 years ago if my math serves me correctly.
See here,
Don't ask me. Okay.
Come on, Kenzie, you can do this.
I'm not a math person.
I just see like the hangover over your head, the little numbers spinning around, trying to figure it out.
And then I just faint.
Your head explodes. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, she was in a lounge here at Q101, and now, of course, one of the biggest acts in the world, and we have those tickets for you coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll have that. Q101 Fest continues. Get you. There's so many concerts we have for free for you, and in a time when it's really tough to have money for concerts with Picnic coming up, basically coming in there to street festival level where you can just donate a couple bucks for the people there. We got you taken care of for live music, and because it's getting harder because all the shows now are on the precipice of starting here this summer.
Look at you, big word on a Monday.
Precipice. I read that over the weekend somewhere.
I'm so proud of you.
Well, I talked to my nephew. He graduated from University of Illinois.
Yes.
A lot of graduates this weekend, and so I felt like I needed to say some big words. Meanwhile, he was like, all right, Uncle Brian, I'm just going to go game a little bit down in the basement. I'm going gaming. Graduated from college, and I had to go play some video games.
In the basement?
Yeah. It's a weird thing to think of when you graduate college.
Yeah.
When you remember that moment, like, for a lot of people, it's like, well, that's it now. School's done. Now everybody's looking at me to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, my thing was when I was in college, I was like a full-time intern. I was a full-time waitress too, but then I was also a full-time intern. So I was like, thank God I'm done with school because it was like one less full-time activity because I just kept waitressing. And then I still worked at like the radio station and stuff. I just kept it rolling.
Same. I was working at a golf course and at a radio station.
But if you have one of those jobs or like one of those degrees where you didn't do like a very specific internship and you're like, I could see it being like, where do I go? Like I knew exactly what I had to do because it was like it was broadcasting. I was starting in radio. I just stayed with my internship to start working. Like, okay, path, right? Yeah. But if it was like, I got a business degree. Where am I going to business?
I got a business.
Where am I going to do that?
Where am I going to be doing business?
Case, didn't you get like an improv degree or something? What happened?
I have a degree in comedy writing and performance.
Hold on. Before she said, what happened?
Something like that.
I like that. Okay, so what happened?
I had a 3.9 at Columbia College, Chicago. Would have been a 2.5 at Purdue.
Woo! That's what your dad said, not you.
Yeah, but he wasn't wrong.
A great dad thing to say.
I know, it's such a dad quote.
Yeah.
No, I mean I was working for Brian by the time I graduated college.
How about that?
I know. It's my adult life is filtered through the lens of I've been with Brian the entire time, which I wouldn't have it any other way.
I wouldn't either.
Is that why you get so like shaky with him? You have like separation anxiety?
I you know what? I swear to God, I found myself missing Brian this weekend.
I know.
Because I was at IHOP, the IHOP that you and Megan were just at. My girl and I went to that IHOP.
Why, did you go like sniff the booth he sat in?
Kinda, yeah. I was just like, Mackenzie, my girlfriend, didn't, like, she loves Brian and Megan, but she didn't care that we were sitting at IHOP, and I was like, no, Brian and Megan were just here. We're doing the same thing they did. Isn't that awesome? And she's like, well, a lot of people come here.
That's a good answer on her part.
She's not wrong.
No. I was stoked.
I'm flattered.
Yeah.
Case only stands up for you, right? Like, he would run through a wall. Like, if you come in upset about something, he's like, oh my God, who hurt Brian's feelings? Then I could come in, like, hey, someone attacked me in the parking lot. He's like, you'll be fine. I'm like, okay.
Shake it. Because he's probably worried about the attacker.
Yeah, walk it off.
Because he probably kicked
Was
their
it
ass.
Brian? I'm worried about Brian. Did he try to attack you? Is he okay?
Kenzie's like, no, I foot stomped him. He's dead in the parking lot. I'm good.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and time for a fact that makes your brain go. Now, this one involves people that own cats. Okay, now I think there's a high risk in owning a cat. I'll explain a little bit more later, but everybody seems to love dogs, I think. Now, I know Case, the producer, did not like dogs until he started dating somebody with a dog, and now he loves that dog, and he's the dog's father, basically.
I'm not the dog's father, and I'm also not the dog's stepfather. I'm the father that stepped up. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I've become a total dog guy. It's just like in Star Wars Episode 3 when Obi-Wan says to Anakin, you were sent to destroy the Sith, not join them. I've joined them. I've become a full-blown dog person.
You understand that, Kenzie?
Nope. That does not resonate with me.
You just have to read up on the Sith Lords.
Give me something else. Do you have a Twilight example?
This would be like if I was a werewolf and I became a vampire.
That's really weird. Wow.
Do you understand it now?
Yeah. Now I understand what's happening.
Yeah, Case loves dogs now. I love dogs, but I love other people's dogs. I'm having the baby, and now just adding a dog into it seems like it'd be a lot.
No, you can't do that.
I don't know what I would do.
I got plants yesterday. Like, people gave me plants for Mother's Day, and I'm like, I have to keep something else alive. That's all I thought. I was holding a baby. Tristan was running around, and I'm like, oh my God. Something else that's living in the house.
But I'm also kind of surprised that you don't have a dog. I'd picture you having a dog.
I love dogs. My husband likes other people's dogs.
Same. I guess
He doesn't want one in the house, and I am not in the mood to argue about that because I feel like we already argue about everything else. I'm exhausted. So you win, no dog.
Well, yeah, but I agree. Like the maintenance, it's so good. Other people's dogs are awesome. They come up to you and you just scratch them.
And they're so cute.
Yeah, and then they kind of leave. You don't have to worry about, feeding and poop, but they just.
It's like how I used to feel about kids. I'm like, your baby's great over there. Look at that baby. Yeah. You take that home with you.
I mean, other people's dogs love to see you for the most part. You know what I mean? They love to come up.
Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but someday maybe I'll fully commit because I would like a dog around the house walking around. It'd be cool.
But just, not when you have little kids. There's already so much going on.
Well, I do. When Harper's walking around other people's dogs, I instantly become like, the Terminator protection mode of because I'm afraid that dog's going to jump on her and take her eye out.
Can I tell you how, uninstinctual my parents were when it came to protecting me? When I was born, they bought a Rottweiler at the same time.
At least they bought a nice, cuddly, safe one.
Yeah. And they were like, we really realized it became a problem because, he was 160 pounds.
Oh, yeah, they're huge.
Yeah. And they were like, God, you're trying to walk, and you just destroy me. And they're like, oh, hey, sit down. We named him Ditka. They're like, oh, sit down, Ditka. And I used to ride him. There's pictures of me in the yard, draped like I had a pony.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, well, that probably could have irritated him. And my parents were like, oh, Kenzie's out back riding the dog.
Ditka loves it when Kenzie gets on her back. His back.
I'm like, no one's watching me. I'm just barreling around the yard on top of a Rottweiler.
Oh.
That's fine.
Oh, you made it. It's all good. Worked out. So dogs, we've cleared that up. Now, there's a lot of cat owners out there as well, but there's a high risk to owning a cat, not running on its back a Rottweiler and having him turn on you in any way. But we'll tell you what this risk is for all the cat owners out there. And I know cats get a lot of hate, but they're cool. I mean,
I like cats. I used to have a cat.
Yeah, people like to hate on cats, but this one is kind of scary. For cat owners out there, there's a high risk with it, and we'll tell you that coming up here in 6 minutes.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
All right, time for a fact that makes your brain go. Now, we talked about dogs before the break there. I love other people's dogs and playing with them. I don't know if I can deal with the responsibility of a dog, and I think other people feel that way, like Kenzie. Ugh. It's like, it's great to pet a dog. They're awesome. Now, there's cat owners out there that have a little bit of an issue they may not have been aware of, a new study. And this is a mind-blowing study. That's why this is in the fact that cat owners could be at a higher risk of schizophrenia. Now, that seems weird, right? Like, because usually pets and people that love their cats, it's an emotional support. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel good. Now, schizophrenia affects the way you think, feel, and see the world. It is, chemically different in your body, and it goes person to person. I know someone that was sadly afflicted with it, and there's no one thing.
Did they have a cat?
They did not. Did not have a cat. So I don't think it's a baseline of if you have a cat, you're going to get it or
Can
whatever.
I ask a question? And
Sure.
I had a cat, so I'm not coming for the cat.
Oh,
people.
boy.
Does it cause it, or are you just likely to own a cat if you have it?
That's the rub, because I always thought that nothing can cause schizophrenia. It happens in your body. It's a chemical issue that starts taking over your brain, and then you just start seeing the world in a different way, and it can be very debilitating.
Do cats cause it?
You lose touch with reality. But for some reason, the study, here's what the study said. Cats have a lot of benefits, obviously emotional support. This came from Australia, Queensland, Australia, the University of Queensland, by the way.
That's a good university.
Imagine they got a campus on the beach somewhere.
Sounds pretty.
So individuals exposed to cats may have a higher risk of schizophrenia and related mental disorders. 17 studies published between 1980 and 2023 have pulled data, and they looked at it all and analyzed. And all the studies focused on participants who owned cats in their first 25 years of life. So you had a cat when, Kenzie?
Yeah, I had a cat, 5th grade. And then my parents made me get rid of it my first year of high school.
The Rottweiler didn't eat it, did it?
No, but they peed on everything. My parents were like, "That's enough," and I'm like, "Dang it!"
Don't they have don't they know to go to the litter box? You got to teach them that.
We just kept adding litter boxes because maybe he's just lazy and he doesn't want to go all the way downstairs. So we got to 4 litter boxes, and I'm like, you know what? He just wants to pee on everything. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do.
That's a lot.
I know.
A lot of litter boxes. That's sad, too. I'd go with a cat.
I was pretty upset about the whole thing.
So the team assessed it, estimates based on broader definitions like cat ownership, cat bites, cat contact. They combined that data with estimates using random effects models and accessed risk of biases. And they said, based on the findings, the team found an association between cat ownership and increased odds of developing schizophrenia-related disorders. That's what they saw from analyzing all this cat data.
Wow.
So I'm not saying get rid of your cat. And like I said, I think but
be wary of cat owners. I think we all have to have our eyes peeled
Well, you
now.
can't say that too. I mean, that's not fair.
Well, no, it's just something to be aware of.
that this could be out there for a cat owner. Does anybody know a cat owner and you think they might be a little off? There might be something
My Aunt Booty owns 27 cats.
What's her name?
Booty.
Your Aunt Booty?
Yes. That's a real thing.
I feel like we glossed over that.
Yeah, let's slow down here. Is that her real name?
No, her name isn't Booty, but she's been Aunt Booty forever.
How did she get Aunt Booty?
Well, it's not as bad as it sounds.
Can't wait to hear this.
But
Because everyone's like, aw, snap. But it's not. It was because of her shoes when she was little.
Because she wore boots?
Yeah, they were like little booties. And then I guess no one thought it through.
Yeah.
But I don't know why she kept it all the way to aunthood, but she did.
Aunthood. I never thought about that word before.
This is what she chose.
Also, I don't know the over-under on when the word booty was used predominantly about asses. I guess no way to say that. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know when it kicked in, the ass related. Right. It was like when kids named their kid Richard and you didn't know what that was going to mean later.
Yeah, they're going to call him.
How could they have predicted
Ew.
such a thing?
Yeah. We could look that up and see when booty became a time of use for butts.
Well, Brian, you looked it up because I want to hear more about Aunt Booty's 27 cats. There's so much to Aunt Booty. I feel like
the problem
I have
was,
more questions.
So my Aunt Booty is one of the most interesting people you'll ever meet if you meet her. She was at like both Woodstocks and like she's lived in like every country. She just keeps moving. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, she's on the lamb. She's running.
Probably. I remember her telling me like, oh, when I was with Chevy Chase at Woodstock, I'm like, what? Like every time I have a story, she like knows every famous person she's like gotten high with. Like she's nuts. And she like moved near us in Minnesota to help her mom and then was like, I can't do this anymore and just disappeared She either lives in Washington or Oregon. I don't know. She just keeps driving her trailer around.
Wow.
And the problem is that she had to buy like a mobile home because if she meets a cat, like it has to come home with her, or she feels too guilty.
Yeah.
So she goes to like an abandoned farm and sees cats. She's like, well, I have to give them a home. And
Of course she does.
she's like, that's what she spends all of her money on. Like,
Okay.
I'm like, well, you need health care. And she's like, well, no, because I found a cat. It's like, okay, well, all right. You haven't eaten in a week. Yeah, but I found a different cat. So, like, now it's like, it's just, she feels an overwhelming amount of guilt if she doesn't adopt every cat she ever sees.
Now, she's so mobile. She's taking these 27 cats around like an
With her.
RV.
So I invited her to my wedding in Mexico, and I got a letter back because she was trying to drive her RV through Mexico with all the cats.
Yeah.
She goes, hey, I found out you can't bring cats across the border. I could go to prison. And I'm like, I'm really happy you looked that up before you got to the border. So she was trying to bring all of her cats and drive through Mexico.
Yeah. I could just picture
Also not a great idea.
arrested for smuggling cats into Mexico.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. But some of the things that have gone through the border and you can't bring a cat across.
Facts.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just a little shocked by that.
You're saying something.
Ironically, I named my cat that my parents made me get rid of Salvador because that's where her dad was from. Was like the country.
Wow.
So that's why I named him after. And
Did you call him Sal?
No, I didn't get to meet him.
Oh.
It's kind of a pretty old guy there. But that's why I named it. So I named after that. And it was just like, and now she's this, I feel like I cursed her because like I named a cat after her dad. And then like, I feel like I put like a hex on her or something. And now she has all these cats.
Well, the fact was that cat ownership can lead to schizophrenia, but I got bad news for Aunt Booty that did the research on this. I got bad news. I guess it's good news. I don't know what she looks like, but it's a slang word that started in the 16th century. So people were saying booty in the 16th century about butts.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I pictured like 1982. We started saying booty, as a
Yeah, I
butt.
would-
What Run DMC song inspired that, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't have thought that was used in like, what year?
The 16th century.
So like castles.
Yeah. I mean, dragons.
Yeah. Well,
You
yeah,
know.
because those existed, but
Yeah.
obviously.
This dragon has a wonderful booty. Bring them to the
Can you
yard.
imagine, like, you thought a queen was, like, dragging a wagon? Like, you're talking about that back then?
Oh my God, our leader's booty will lead us to victory in this battle against the Germanians. Something
So
like
they
that.
were using it pre-pirate. Like, so pirates took it.
Pirates were in that era, but I think earlier too, right?
I don't know.
I'm confused on when pirates existed.
There's still pirates out there.
When did pirates exist?
Oh, boy.
But pirates are different now. Pirates now suck.
Why?
Because the cool ones were, like,
Oh,
on
yeah.
ships with hats and parrots.
You know what's funny is I put in pirates and the Pittsburgh Pirates came up.
Naturally. Paul Skeens, baby. Big weekend for the Pirates.
They started in 14th century. What does that mean?
So that's the
Does that mean
1300 to 1400, right?
So that means 1400s when you say the 14th century?
It means a century before, right?
Yes.
So like we were in the
What?
20th century in the 19s, you know?
Well, that just is
It's-
stupid.
I know.
But you had the first century also, which was 0 to 100. So it's not stupid. It makes sense.
Kind of not, though.
Either
No.
way,
That should have been like not a century. It wasn't a century yet. It's you had to wait.
But it's like,
It's like it's the first birthday. You're not like 0 to 1. Like you have to wait till it happens. You can't call it the first century. It wasn't a century yet.
no.
Yeah. It hadn't been a century
But
yet.
it was labeled that in hindsight. Like in the year 2, they were like, oh man, the year 2's been crazy. I can't wait for the year 3. This was all done in hindsight. You know?
By the way, that you know of, like you weren't there.
No, I feel pretty confident.
No, I hate when people are like, this is what happened. Like, oh, really, bro? Were you in the room? Like, it's kind of annoying. There's no way they documented everything that happened.
Yeah, but they probably documented that.
Some things, but not all of it.
okay, so what we learned today is cats give you schizophrenia. Okay, we got that.
Yep.
Pirates were in the 14th century. People started using booty in the 16th century.
Yep.
So maybe they took it from pirates.
Oh, there's pirates booty.
Oh my
That's what
God.
I'm saying. That's why I asked about pirates, guys. It wasn't. I was just curious about pirates.
I can't remember how we got the pirates.
We're talking about booty.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. and Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101 coming up about 12 minutes away. We'll be at 7 o'clock, and Q101 Fest continues. This time, you get one to the Hinterland Music Festival. This is in Iowa, St. Charles, Iowa, which I couldn't find that on a map. I would not know where St. Charles...
St. Charles, Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so not like near my house, St. Charles.
Not that St. Charles.
So I was like, perfect. Finally something close.
But ironically, if I was heading to this festival, I'd have to go by the St. Charles in Illinois to start heading west to Iowa.
Yeah.
How about that?
There's some good restaurants in St. Charles.
I love I've talked about this on the air before. I'd like to maybe somehow envision myself ending up there with a house because I just love the rolling hills out there.
I would be so happy to do that because we could carpool.
Would you pick me up or I'd pick you up?
I don't even care.
This isn't Elgin. I'd have to go north, then back down.
Don't throw directions at me. I don't know. We're near each other.
Oh, it would be close. It'd be great. We got barbecues. It'd
I
be
supposed to
great.
know if we go north. What do I look like? A compass?
I don't know how to answer that.
What am I, Sacagawea over here? Don't ask me.
Answer Kenzie's question, Brian. Does she look like a compass?
You don't look like a compass. Now you said Sacagawea next.
Yeah, I don't. Lewis and Clark was supposed to lead you. I don't know.
Now do I have to Google Sacagawea before we move on?
You don't know who Sacagawea is?
No, I know who she is. I want to see what she looked like.
Oh, do I look like her?
I don't know.
Well, in the Night at the Museum movies, kinda, yeah.
Oh, thank
Boy,
you.
is it hard to spell Sacagawea. You know what? You do kind of look like Sacagawea.
Oh.
She was beautiful.
Is that our next billboard? Is Brian and I like Lewis and Clark and Kenzie like Sacagawea? Find us on your dial. Hold on, Kenzie.
What?
It's find us on your dial 101.1, and we're Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea.
Dude, that's it.
Or we're leading your morning expedition.
Okay, all right. See, we can do a whole campaign, multiple billboards.
And is the expedition through St. Charles?
Well, it's through your radio.
You got to tie in St. Charles somehow.
Your radio.
All right, let's do it. Now, what did Lewis and Clark look like?
Oh, they're probably so handsome.
I don't know.
The funny thing is,
fit.
I said,
How did they have pictures of them? This is what I mean. What is going on?
I mean, Sacagawea, by the way, was a painting, so that we were only getting
was a
secondhand.
painting?
It could have been some guy.
Was it like an iPhone selfie of them on the expedition?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it could have been some guy thirsty for Sacagawea and made her look super hot. You know what I mean?
She looks really hot.
Well,
She does in the Night at the Museum movies. I'm a big fan of that Sacagawea.
what actress played that? Her.
Oh, I played that.
Damn, this oil painting is hot. I don't think that was her, though. I mean, she's got makeup on, which I highly doubt they actually did.
But I will say, don't Google Lewis and Clark because the Sacagawea in that is like an old lady. It's weird. And Lewis and Clark look pretty awesome. Like me and Case. Maybe that one, those guys were thirsty. Whoever painted that one were thirsty for Lewis and Clark.
Oh, she is hot in Night at the Museum. I just looked that up. Hold on. Let me see. What's the name of the actress?
Mizu Peck.
Whoa, pretty. Do I look like that?
I mean, you kind of look like that.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that actress. I'm just still on the painting of Sacagawea.
The painting's really hot. You look at the first painting that popped up?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Warrior.
I know. It looks like one of those fighting video games.
It does.
That's like how she's drawn. She's like a mix of, she's like the Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Like, it's like almost Tomb Raider over here.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Tomb Raider.
That's what she looks like.
But do not go to a Lewis and Clark picture of Sacagawea because it's an old lady. And I
Oh,
don't.
they just couldn't get the story straight. What does she actually look like?
Well, they're all paintings, so they're all perspective. I mean, again, there was no iPhones.
But there's no way that an old lady was with Lewis and Clark scavenging throughout the new world.
It's a good point. They had to pick like the fit one.
Yeah, like
They're
a hot, young, fit woman.
Yeah.
So they went down the row. Let's see, old, not going to make it.
They flipped open an S-size swimsuit and were like, all right, which one of these ladies is going to accompany us?
She's good.
Someone with a fitness goal that's inspired.
This girl's got a walker. She ain't going to make it.
No, come on
Come
now.
on, we're going like 15,000 miles or whatever. That was exaggeration. The United States is not 15,000 miles across.
I would have believed you.
What was it?
Is it? The United States isn't 15,000 miles all the way across?
No.
Really?
I've driven across it. It's something like
You've driven across point to point.
I
without
drove from Richmond, Virginia to Phoenix, which is an hour short, or 5 hours short of the ocean. How
many miles was it? I feel like, I mean, I drive like 94 to get here, so I would imagine it's 15,000 across the whole thing.
Ooh. Well, they didn't go straight across either, by the way. But Lewis and Clark, by the way, this is a great
Well, yeah, they're not a bird.
This is a great.
I had to turn a few times.
This is a great Monday show, by the way, where we've gotten here in the first hour.
Well, we're learning about history. This is informative.
I hope we're all learning together in your car here. I hope you're learning. So how long do you think, you think they went like, you thought they went like 15,000 miles would have been realistic. But They went from St. Louis, Missouri to the Pacific Ocean. So really the middle of the country, and they went 8,000 miles. Now, again, they didn't go straight to L.A.
Hollywood sign.
Yeah, Lewis and Clark built the Hollywood sign. This is the education
They met
system.
a casting director when they got there.
Listen, we're definitely way better than Chicago public schools. I'm giving the information out to you this morning.
They went right to L.A.
Yeah,
They're just beautiful.
you can see them in the back of the Weekend at Bernie's movie. They had guest spots.
Well, then they wanted to go to Napa after.
Get some wine.
Yeah.
Oh,
They were
boy.
just on vacation. We found out this whole time. Oh, no.
All right, well, there you go. Now you know what happened. Keep checking in about your weekend, the highlight of your weekend. Here's Gil Curtis.
This is not headline news. Taylor Swift kicked off her European tour. She sold out all her shows in Germany, but that's mostly because her opener is David Hasselhoff. Authorities dropped their investigation into Shakira's tax evasion. They based their decision on testimony from her hips, which don't lie. A Florida man who was high on LSD, ketamine, mushrooms, ecstasy, and PCP bit a chunk of skin out of a cop's head at a music festival. In his defense, have you seen the price of a hot dog at those things? New Mexico has been named the most dangerous state in the U.S. South Dakota if you're a dog. And Starbucks is experiencing record low sales. The good news is, if your local Starbucks closes, you can just go to the one right next to it. This is not headline news.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.